has a 170-degree view. So it sees that way and that way.
That's cool.
Clean his eyes out. This is 720p. If you do full HD, it doesn't give you so good a field of view. Okay, I'll see you later.
Alright, bye, buddy.
Showing some of the signs of it?
Well, on the blood test. He's in the normal range except for low.
Girls, you go ahead and hop on. Start walking around, warming them up.
Okay.
Never a problem with that. Check your stirrups, check your girths. That is so stinking cool. Now, you ever seen the perspectives, guys, from cross-country riders with those?
Yeah.
Talking about crazy people. I got a lot of respect for the cross-country riders. Danny, just get. They're nuts, is what they're doing.
Can we use an iron block? Yeah. Oh, don't do that.
Oh, no, I haven't. It's on YouTube. It's really, they put together a really cool video. They did everything in slow motion, showing how the back's moving, how
Oh, I gotta go see that. That's cool.
it's really cool. Very impressive show. Massive, like 6-foot jumps. Some of those like all bone and everything.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That's very interesting.
Do they have different disciplines or just jumping?
I mean, mostly did jumping on that one. They did a couple dressage, but it was mostly jumping. I bet you she's got other ones out there.
I didn't look it up. That's fascinating to me.
Well, I love that book. That book really showed, I mean, the way they did the pictures, the way they did the setup, and even in the advertisements for that video, they're like, preserve your horse and do this, this, and this. It was a well set up video.
Well, makes sense. I wish somebody would have told me how to preserve me when I was younger. Because I certainly didn't end up paying for it. I remember, people saying, oh, well, like accidents and stuff were never my fault. But, I've been in rollover car accidents and put my head through a windshield with somebody. I mean, everything. And I'm like, well, no, I'm fine. Well, I realized now I wasn't.
I know how you feel.
It adds up.
I did hurdles, flipped over a hurdle. You did? Yeah, when I was younger. Took a big chunk out of my hip when I was doing I ran track and field for years. Took a big chunk out of my hip.
Yeah, so to say that, and you feel like, no, I'm fine. They also have this great way of compensating for years.
Yeah, and then they don't. That's the thing is nowadays, I can hear bones popping, I can hear it's banging around, that should be banging around.
I'm just so out of balance with it every time, But it's fun to figure it out.
I'm glad I don't have a big problem. Now, see, that's the thing. There's nothing major, nothing massive, but it's just enough where you're like, ooh,
Yeah, I feel like,
off.
yeah.
The worst thing is I can feel it in the saddle. My left seat bone doesn't hit the saddle.
The last one, mine is my right one. It raises up. Which I can't feel it in my hips. I can feel it in different places, like my neck, my shoulder. But right now it's a little up too. God, I dropped through it. Coming down. What? Coming. Okay.
Is my saddle okay? Or is it too far back?
No, your saddle actually looks good, but I checked your girth again.
Okay.
Yeah, pop that up. Both you girls check your girths again, just in case. Really long legged.
I And yeah, you know where it's really problematic, or one seat bone up, is dressage.
Oh, yes.
So I was just telling Kelsey, I'm like, I wonder how much of it is Tucson right now and how much of it is my right cheek bone isn't 100% down. And then you start leaning off to one side and all that stuff, but then I see people riding Grand Prix that are crooked. And I think, well, how are they doing it?
A lot of compensation.
It's true.
A lot of compensation.
But it'd be easy. You look at like Gunther and Stefan that are perfectly symmetrical, you know, they make it look easy.
They make it look so easy.
Oh, I know. Well, you're not perfectly symmetrical either.
But I could be.
Yeah,
So I can think about it.
I don't think he could be.
All right, ladies. Let's go. So why the camera? Just because?
Yeah, my dad bought it for his car and
Oh, you bought it for his car?
yeah.
What does he have?
A Prius. Yeah.
Oh, let me get you the water, ladies. Go. Now, when do you guys get out of school? It's May 6th month, isn't it?
I think I'm like June 10th or so.
So you go to
Yeah.
That's pretty early. That's nice. Because a lot of the schools aren't getting out till like the middle to the end.
Wait, are you at the high school?
Yeah.
You are? I've never seen you. Wait, what grade are you?
Freshman.
Okay, I will look for you. I'm gonna find you. Yeah, I'm a junior.
The horse school right here is a lot of people do it. Like, oh, I go to this school. What do you mean you go to that school? Where's you? Where's that?
I have the equestrian club that I started. If you want to come in and see me. In Miss Weber's room on Tuesdays.
What room number?
B36.
Hey, you have the equestrian club?
Yeah.
Very cool. What do you guys do?
Well, we tried doing things, but then not a lot of people come, so we used to talk. There's always things to talk about. Hannah's in it. So, yeah.
Guys, what time do you guys eat?
Tuesdays at lunch. Don't go on the ground.
So we have this gray mare that we gave to a friend of ours to use in her lesson program because she's a tanner, but to put it afterwards and tanner in a lesson, she wouldn't be that great. She just can't hack it. Well, the funny thing is, all these horses, except for her, are registered horses. It just kind of gives it up this way. So the lady who has her at the property is a rescue. And she's like, oh, well, I can give you Melody. We're like, because we're looking for a friend of ours to foster a horse, over horses and seen it. Well, Helsinki's Melody was her real name, and they just started calling her Melody.
That's weird.
Like her real name is Fire and Nice.
Oh.
And she actually came with Loki. Hated it. Hated it. One, Loki's the god of tricks. I don't want anywhere it's named, you know, Fireball or something with a trick or anything like that. But like Sonoma's real name is Figurona Soma Cum Laude. Nothing back there, eh? Oh, I can't even remember the rest of it. Peaches is Barry's delight. They call her Barry, but I'm realizing with a fat guy. They call him Pintar. I can't stand him. I always like the barn. Unfortunately, when you show like an in-circuit show, or you have to, or you go on a registered show, you gotta show them the registered name.
You can't change it?
The registered names, you can. You're kind of stuck with it. If you're going county shows or shows that don't matter for points, or you're just going to mess around, you can change. You can put whatever name you want. But when it's a registered, like a really horse AHA show, I gotta show them his real name with any of them. If I brought him in, I have to show them his real name. You get the points for end of year rewards, blah blah blah, to make it up to nationals, all that kind of stuff. You know those again? Oh look!
Wait, what?
Check our fishes again.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey. Well, before Katie and the girls were out on trail, and they were feeding the spirits, the coyotes would come around the bottom of the horse's legs and take care of it, so the horses would come out. Go ahead and talk, guys. All right, coyotes, you better run. Go. And I was like, what? I go. He's like, shoot, shoot, shoot. Run away. Run away. Both my dogs got off the leash once, and Tucker disappeared into the bushes after that coyote. And I'm like, oh my god, there's a pack back there, he's gonna die, they're gonna kill him, and I'm like, having a heart attack. Oh no, out he comes from the bushes, out the coyote comes from the bushes. They're playing! Thanks guys, give me a sneaking heart attack. Thanks so much. Oh, I'm lucky. There is nobody out here. And you'll notice, guys, the horses will break to the sides of the trails. They're trying to find softer spots to go, just because all of them are barefoot, honestly, except for Sonoma with their back feet. And the halflingers, we actually end up putting boots on. Now, some have sensitive feet. The guy that originally came to us bare feet, we put shoes on her because she's so heavy. Her foot was literally folding over on it. But we ended up pulling her and she seems happier. You can do that. You can put shoes on for a period of time, let their foot reestablish themselves, and then pull them. Sometimes you may have to put them back on. A lot of people in the Midwest and back east do 6 months of shoes when it's rocky
We went by that ranch house.
Okay, we'll have our house, so we'll end up going straight today, and we'll take the single track back. I just don't want to scare the hikers. They're trying to be and the arena, not so much. You know, I should be wearing a helmet, guys, all the time. On trail, I really should have one. Because it is harder ground, more unexpected things, and I'm on a base. That's smart. Alright, let's kind of break right through so we give everyone kind of some room. And what we'll do is we'll pick up the cross a second, we'll go to the left, and we'll see if we can just kind of very gently, quietly go around everybody.
What is that? That's a what?
Shire.
Shire.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Girls, do you notice how they move out? This is their thing. They exist. She originally was from North Point, Nothing But Trail, and her mama, her original mama, had her out in the desert in Palm Springs, and they just flew. Kind of right side, girls. See, notice, girls, we'll play leapfrog a lot. Advanced riders will kind of play, you know, who's on the front, who's behind. Kind of play leapfrog games with it. Especially on trails, we only allow one horse. Up along, tail east, with a break right. Go down the single track, girls, and because they're going to go down this little divot, go in your path, then pull underneath you kind of freely. Now, these single tracks, you gotta watch out, and that's actually why it's extra loud, so people can hear and cover up for us. And don't like to scare hikers. It's not there for that. Maybe watch your head, maybe have it cut down some straight.
Okay.
Elbert, ladies. up her butt. And sometimes I just don't want to be behind that. But you always want to walk them when you're heading back towards home, just so they don't get that idea that they can just book it home. It makes them barn sour. Godiva, when we first got her, was horrible about that. Not that she was barn sour, but she wanted to leave all the time. And that's just because she was allowed to get into the habit of doing that. So that's why we used to force her, and we still do. We put her in the back intentionally so she learns to behave herself. And then, you know, we'll let them go back and front. Sometimes they get stressed out being stuck behind another horse if they've got like a dominant personality. Or you have to watch, like with Vanny or some of the others, if they lock eyes, they start to get competitive, and with like you're trotting and cantering, they get a little more competitive and a little more competitive to where they're like trying to book it. Then they lock their jaw, and that's something you always want to watch out for, girls. Let's say you ever go on vacation in Europe and you're riding, be very careful of that. The horses in Europe don't act the same way as they do here. The European riders have some guts. And a lot of times when their horses have locked their jaws and they're just taking off, they're like, "Whee! This is great." Always be prepared to bend your horse. Here, go ahead. I'll sit behind you.
Right.
Hi again.
Beautiful horse.
Thank you. No, you don't need that, Cairo. And see how now they're a little more willing to get going? They're like, woohoo! That's why we're walking them back towards home.
Oh.
So when we get back, girls, what we're going to do is we're not going to go, and just make her walk, Amy. We're not going to go straight to where we untack them. We're going to go around, and then we're going to canter up the gallop track.
Okay.
Why? Because we can. Guys, stay right. We've got two bicyclists behind us. They're fine to pass us. They're fine to pass.
We're okay?
Yeah,
Sure?
they're totally fine. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
We're nice and slow. Don't freak them out.
These guys can have a ball set off underneath.
All right. Hey, have a nice ride.
And here's another important thing about trail girls, exposure. Your horses need to be exposed to bikes, to cars, to dogs, to whatever else you can find out there that might give them a heart attack. Heart attacks are free for horses, give them one daily. Because if they learn to get past all this kind of stuff, they're not going to be spooky. Some of the other horses at our barn you see will go airborne just because of bikes, and there's no reason for that. They see them daily. I can leave my dogs off these horses and they're fine. All that stuff should be able to happen. Hi there.
Big dogs.
Those are the biggest things I've ever seen. But there's no, especially within our world, girls, we don't live in a quiet world. And your horses should be exposed to that. I mean, people will go, "Oh, shush, 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 that's spooking my horse." So what? Let them spook. They'll learn. And they'll get over it. Now, some horses aren't as confident, and that you have to watch out for. But you know what, really? They should be able to do anything you ask them to do, but you got to give them the confidence to do it. Hi there. Hi, pretty horse. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to catch up real quick a little bit, girls. No, don't get right at Vanny's butt. She's so cute. If she pins her ears and does her gnashing thing right back at me, Angie, smack her on the neck as hard as you can, because she has got to learn that other horses can be around her. She just thinks she's a princess now that she lives in her own bubble. And we can spread out, guys. When we don't have anybody coming behind us or coming in front of us, it's okay to spread out. It's just when we see bikes or hikers that need to come past us, just break to the right. We pass left to left, just like we do with cars. It's a respect thing, and it's a courtesy thing. Because all of us are just trying to share the trails. This is I'm running.
Oh. Oh.
I love watching them and the corgis. Their little legs are going, but they ain't going anywhere. We used to have a mini, and a friend of ours still has him. But my goodness, that was the sassiest little stink. Like he'd rear, and you'd have to laugh at him. Even though rearing is one of the most dangerous and naughtiest things, but he was only like hip height, so when he'd rear, he'd only go like chest height.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, really?
Oh.
Rearing? Really? He was only like 2 or 3 when we got him. Now a lot of times too, when they track off, and this is something you guys may never want to do, but I always like giving people the information anyway. When they kind of cordon off sections for the trails, for nade tracks or for endurance rides, they'll give you a map. There's a few rules you've got to follow whenever you're doing any of these competitive rides. You've got to have your map in hand, and they want to have a knife and hoof pick at hand. Because knives are always made, especially like to cut equipment. It is literally, if there is a problem, you cut your equipment off your horse. They'll have you even carry that. If you ever work with driving teams, that is something they say, if one of those horses goes down or there's a problem, you just start cutting straps. It doesn't matter how much the equipment costs, you release the horse and cut the straps. We got a bike, guys, I'm gonna come behind you. They want you to carry your map for obvious reasons so you can track where you're going. And a lot of times, to have the area regulated, they'll have like streamers of some kind or ribbon hanging from the trees, certain colors for certain sections and certain days. Because a lot of nade tracks are 2-day events. I've only done the 1 day just because I've never had a horse other than him now who is hardy enough to do it, we'll say, for a 2-day. But they'll have that rigged out, and they'll have the, so red ribbons are like for the AM ride. They bring you around, have a lunch and a lunch break. The PM ribbons are like another color. Watch your ribbons. That's the other thing. You go off course, you're disqualified. Now, in those rides too, they'll have, in the nade tracks, now not the endurance rides, but in the nade tracks, they'll have judges hiding. Sometimes you'll see them, sometimes you won't. I've had a judge, we're riding along this one trail, and a mountain biker was following us where they shouldn't have been because it was only a horse trail, and this judge popped up and was like, yeah, it's supposed to be on this trail. And we're like, where did you come from? So, you'll have the judges hiding around. You can't necessarily watch, but we can always watch reputation. I mean, I know on trail we get a little goofy, we get a little sloppy kind of because of going out. But if you're doing a competitive ride, you always want to watch for that because that'll cost you points. Because with nade tracks, it's judged, it is to produce safe trail riders and horses. So you will have, your horse can place as well as you can place. And what I mean by that is for like the humans, how they judge them on your, how's your campsite? Is it safe? How is your riding? Are you bouncing on your horse's back? Do you go into half seat when you go up hills? Are you slamming on their back when you canter? And they'll have sometimes an equitation challenge. So one time they had us do a figure 8, 2 perfect circles together with a straight line. And the judge had a conniption because she's like, there's only a few people who know what circles are like. So, stuff like that. They had you trot over poles, or they brought logs out on the trails. They pulled them out of the bushes. They'll have you do stuff like that. And then the horses themselves, they go through P&R checks, pulse and respiration checks. Is your horse making them? Is their heart rate good? Is their respiration good? Is their gut sounds good? If they're getting pluses on these, your horse is doing fine. If you have to be held back on a section of these trails, then you're going to get a check. Horse is going to lose a few points, and it's out of 100. So if you get like a 200, you're doing good. There's also time pulse. So you have to watch on the nade tracks. The endurance rides are just tall booty. The nade tracks, though, they're watching. Are you coming into the checkpoints within the regulated time? they give you a buffer zone of like 15 minutes. If you come in faster, they're going to dock you. If you come in too slow, they're going to dock you. You have to come in within that like 15-minute time range. Because they don't want you pushing your horses too much, and they don't want you lagging and cheating, basically, to get your horse's pulse and respiration down. Now you can get off and walk with some of these, but really, you shouldn't be. You should be on your horse, they should be riding. You always carry a hoof pick too to check their feet. Because, and now this is what I personally think stinks. The Natracs do not allow any protective boots on your horses. Which I think is bull, because if you're going to produce safe trail riders, you should be allowed to have safety equipment for your horses. I see their point, but I still think that's a boo-boo rule. So anything that becomes above the pastern, which is basically below the fetlock, which is below the ankle, or the coronary band, or the coronet, which is where the hair and the hoof meet, you're not allowed to have any kind of protective gear above that. So basically, if your horse throws a shoe, there are types of boots you can have called easy boots, but the ones that don't have basically something that goes over that area, over that pastern or over that coronary band, don't hold. They stink. Because then you have to track your booty back on trail to find your boot if you lose it. Now you can also duct tape their feet. That is allowed. That's why I always carry duct tape as well. Oh, that's my view on the horse Natrac world. They are fun, guys, and there's one held here the first of spring. So far, every spring they hold it in Penasquitos Canyon, which is cool to come out and check it out and kind of see what they do. You'll see the riders on the trails. They mark it off. It's pretty fun to watch. Now, what'll be nice soon, too, girls, is the east trails are going to open. And when those east trails open, those are ones we'll go on as well, because there's a lot more hills, and it's good for horses that work on the flat. The horses that work on the flat, guys, tend to get stifle issues or back end problems because they're not pushing off or lifting up their legs. That's why I have you girls do poles, I have you girls do cavalettis, because occasionally they need to pick up their legs. That's why we have them do the singlet. Use their hind end and pick up their legs. Now that east trail has more hills, which is really good for them, and that's why, for the heck of it, we're going to go up the gallop tracks because we can, and I like it. Like I said, hills are good for the horses. I'm deaf as a doornail, guys, so that's why I'm going to check it back to see if I'm hearing things. I'm like, where did everybody go? And the distance we have between us, guys, is good.
Okay.
If you're riding drag in the back, you always want to make sure you know if you're going to trot up, warn the people in front of you. This is good etiquette. If you're trail boss, look back, make sure you don't have basically any distance further than this that we have between Danny and Cairo. Just because if you go around a corner and you're with another group of horses that isn't so calm, the horses are going to desperately try to catch up. Howdy, howdy. So you always kind of want to watch your trail etiquette. You never want to leave somebody behind. You don't want to ditch them and run off without giving a heads up. Because, you know, we'll have different groups out on the trail, guys, and we'll be countering past and say, hey, you know, we'll holler out, can we go past? And if, you know, the group gives you an okay, you're good to go. You just always want to watch that because, remember, they are herd animals. They can get set off. Because no matter how much, I mean, none of this is natural. Yes, we've trained a lot. Yes. But they still have their basic instincts of wanting to catch up. Oh, my goodness. Walking birds on trail. That is so cool. Hi there.
Hello. Hi.
There's Cairo. A Shire.
Oh, a Shire. Okay.
Thank you. I see those I had my first cat, I used to hook a harness to her, wrap her around my neck, and we walk. Now she beat up dogs a lot of times, so I kind of got in trouble a little bit. Because dogs would come up and smell her, she'd sit down on her butt and smack them in the face. Luckily she had no claws. But a little bit in trouble. Oh, I'm kind of glad we went on trail. It's hot. And if they're uber sweaty, she might not be cool with them. Yeah, if they're uber sweaty girls, when we get back and we're done, we'll rinse and toss them home because they're gonna dry fast. If you have, you know, if we have more lessons afterwards, I don't particularly like their bodies getting rinsed all the way just because then they're gonna be nasty for the next lesson. But if there's gonna be gaps, nah, rinse them. It's all good. And that's another thing, guys. I'm adamant about the horses walking and pooping with you because I've had students in horse shows before. It was on this gray mare I had at the other barn. The girl had it. She had the first place, and I could care less if people get first. I don't care. As long as you're going in, get there, get around, get home, have a good time. But she had that first place ribbon. She was on it. The horse stopped and pooped right in front of the judge, like dead stop. She got second. She had the first place ribbon. It was there in her grasp. And really what that is, guys, is a sign of disobedience. Because if honestly, if a mountain lion was coming after them, they'd gallop and poop. Now the peeing thing, that they have to stop and pee. And actually, I like when they go pee under saddle, because whether you're at fishing you're doing, they need to be going to the bathroom. That's actually a really bad sign if they're sitting there holding it. I've seen some horses hold it for like 2-3 days, because they won't go anywhere else but in their house. We've actually had to take a friend of mine's horse. She was in the Poway Rodeo. We had to take her across the street to the stockyard, get her in a friend's horse's stall, put shavings in there so she would pee. She hadn't peed for 2 days. So it's better to have a more easygoing horse that is not shy or particular, that'll go to the bathroom. And like I said, peeing's a good thing. Sometimes even if you put them in the trailer with shavings, they'll pee, which is good. I mean, it's not good for your trailer because some horse trailers don't have solid floors. They have wooden floors underneath the floor mats. So that's not exactly good for the wood because horse urine is really acidic and it eats through things. But, you know, you just rinse it out, clean it out. And that's why you carry shavings with you too. Horses don't, because it can spread bacteria, and if it splashes on them, you'll see this with any of the horses, they'll get what I call pee funk. They pee, and it gets like this kind of a skin nasty on it. And, you know, you have to clean it off, and that's why the horses either A, won't step in their own poop. You'll see them try to actually avoid it. Their stalls is another subject because they can't fully get away from it. It's better, you know, than a small 24 by 24 pen. But the horses don't like the pee getting splashed on. And Vanny's another exception. She just pees anywhere. But they try to avoid that getting on their legs so they don't get this bacteria. And that's just by nature. That's in their bodies. It's just ingrained in them. The other thing they'll do, guys, and Sonoma's a prime example. Sonoma actually needs to have her teeth floated or filed. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's when the vet comes, they anesthetize them, not totally knock them out, because they still need them standing. They put a speculum or clamp in their mouth, open their mouth, and they file off the sharp edges on their teeth. This needs to be done. Some horses, it has to be done once a year. Sometimes you can go 2 to 3 years. I've known horses that have gone 6 years and are fine. It all varies. It's like some of us have to go to the dentist all the time. Some of us not so much. It varies from horse to horse and situation to situation. But like if you see your horse like eating and dropping gobs of masticated food, or they're losing weight real quickly, they need to have their teeth done. And that's really important because it can cause mass weight loss. The tooth can actually end up hurting their gums. You okay?
Yeah, a fly went in my eye.
Oh.
So.
The bugs in the eyes.
Yeah.
And from personal experience, guys, when you're on tracks and you're doing a lot of trotting and cantering, and you're in front, keep your mouth closed. Spiders don't taste that great. Flies, no bueno. You got it out?
I don't know. I think it's in there.
I have eye wash at the bar.
Okay.
I don't see any fiddleneck, or I'll show you that too, because that's something real prevalent in the Poway area out here. It's called fiddleneck. And luckily, I actually don't see it growing out here. It literally looks like the top of a little turned fiddle. It's got little like yellow flowers on it. Toxic, toxic, toxic. Mouthful of it kills them. And peach leaves, actually. You gotta watch for, because they'll eat peaches. Horses actually really like them. But watch for the peach leaves. Those can kill them. Now this next weekend, girls, I think it is, I'd have to, maybe it's next weekend or the weekend after, I'm not sure. On Saturday at the Poway Valley Riders Association, the PVRA, they're running a fun show. And if you want to go and watch, we've got a couple people going to compete. It's actually really cool, so you can get to see the difference between, there's different categories of showing. There's your A-circuit shows, which those are the big boys. Those are the ones you're paying like $500, $600 to $1,000 for the day. And that's for all your classes, all the drug testing, blah, 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 blah. Ridiculous gobs of money. Then you've got your C-circuit shows, which are county shows. County shows are nice because they are some of the big boys. You're up against some heavier competition. You have to have the full regala of clothing, but it's not costing you as much money as an A-circuit show. So like when my horse is ready, I'm going to be taking him schooling or fun shows in the county. If I'm winning in those, then the A-circuit. I don't want to blow $1,000, and frankly, this sounds horrible, and not win the class. I'm a little competitive that way. And then you've got your fun shows or your schooling shows, which is you don't have to have the big, you don't have to have the specific clothing. You don't have to have the specific tag. I mean, you have to go in there obviously looking clean, nice, prepped. If you have the equipment, that's good. But you girls could show, like in your English classes, in a pair of breechers. Okay, what we'll do, guys, we'll stay left and we'll head through the water because we kind of can't let them pass. If I could, I would. Who here's the guy? Yes, Cairo. But you guys could go into those classes wearing like a collared shirt, clean breeches, half chaps, polished boots, your hair's up, and your horses could have this equipment on them, and they're fine. Which is nice because it gives you a taste of the show ring without having an issue. Thank you guys very much. Into the property, and then we will canter up the gallop track. Yeah, if you guys have nothing to, well, not nothing, but if you guys want something to keep yourself entertained, Poway Valley Riders Association, fun shows, they're cool. Shows too, guys. Here's the thing with shows, if you guys ever go to compete, it is a lot of politics. I'll warn you that right now. Especially if you go into the breed regulated classes. Because you'll have specific shows for specific breeds, or what they'll call an open show. So I compete at the Arabian Horse Association, the AHA Open Show, which means they are Arab judges. They have specific breed classes, but you also have open classes where other breeds can go and compete in it. So like you can still take a quarter horse to an open show. Now granted, you've got an Arab judge, so an Arab judge judges a quarter horse. They judge Arabs different from quarter horses. They have different breed standards, different ways they want them to look, to act, to move. Like similar concepts, but the headset's a little different. The style of the hair is a little different. Like with the Shires, they want all this hair. They love the hair. But they want their tails banded up in a little bun. Arabs, they want full manes and tails, full hair, but a long bridle path. Quarter horses, short full manes, clipped whiskers, the headset's a little different. So all of that kind of varies from breed to breed standards. And they, so you're up against them. There's a lot of politics, but if you go in doing your best, it doesn't matter what the politics are going to be. But the nice thing is, the more you go and watch other riders, you're honestly, girls, going to find out what's right and what's wrong. Because there are things that are just not bueno. No bueno. And the show world is fun, but it's got a very ugly side to it. Just like any competition world, some stuff is a little meh. Well, the horse show world is the same way. Because I've seen competitors that are just the bomb. They go in there, they treat their horses right, they do things right. They're good to their animals. Then I've also seen very boo-boo things happen. Like the Arabs, and I can say for the Arabs because that's what I've been competing in for a long time. They like them all amped up, kind of looking their heads up, they're kind of looking kooky. I don't like that. I don't like a nut horse. But what they'll do sometimes to cheat is, they smack their horses, which is ridiculous. They should stop this kind of stuff. Like I said, politics, they don't. They're stuck in tradition. That's why your girl's generation is the new tradition. Things will change. So we're going to go to the left, then we're going to go up that little trail there. Once we get out of the bushes, we enter up to you. I like it. Okay, go left.
So wait, the Atlas?
Then we're going to go up that little street. This way.
Oh, that one. Okay, okay.
And then go that way. I'm going to let you guys lead up first because my little Beagleberry, if I start cantering him up that hill, he's going to slip the other horses off. Once we get out of this kind of little bushy area, if there's nobody up there, girls, just half seat, squeeze your horses forward, and canter them up this path. You'll see where to stop. But we got to kind of get out of this little bit of a brush. Watch for holes. I think we're in the clear, lady.
So we can go?
So as long as you don't see another horse, go straight, go for it. Yes, please, absolutely, go. Woo!
Whoa!
One way, girl.
That wasn't me. That was
Oh,
me.
no, I believe you, actually.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly believe you. I've been on trail. Sonoma's the worst one, guys. We're on trail, we're like galloping, and all of a sudden, Casey, one of my students, was just whoop, into the bushes. I'm like, Casey, what are you doing? She's like, it's not me, it's Sonoma. Well, they're like, we kind of didn't believe her.
Whoa.
We'll come to a bend around there, guys, then we'll stop. You'll see where it is. There we go. Look right there, Andy. Bring her down. She's gotcha on that one.
Now going down hills, girls, works the hocks a lot because they have to sit down on their butt, works their knees, which is in the front end. Going uphill works their stifles. It works two separate sets of joints.
Which do we go through here?
Yeah, we'll just go around the outside. Watch out for MC, the guy on the corner. He does charge and bite. Don't you even think about that. You stay away from my horse, MC. You're fine, Taylor. You're
Oh, hello.
So if you look around, guys, you're going to see a lot of the most common colors for horses you're going to see out there. Your bays, very common. Your chestnuts, very common. Now we happen to have quite the, this is our little Palomino alley right here. We actually happen to have 3 Palominos, which you will see them, but not as much as you'll see the other guys. A couple of them are out, but these 3 stalls here all have Palominos in it. And then you've got your paints, you know, and paints have, you've got your Tobianos and Overos, which just is how much white they have basically, or how much color they have crossing over their bodies. Then you've got your piebalds, which is black and white, your stew balls, which is brown and white, and then your tricolor, which is 3 colors, black, white, and whatever other color you happen to have. Now paints genetically, guys, carry the blue eye gene. They have that recessive gene. They're quite common to carrying them, so it's why, like Colton's blue eyes, you'll see another horse here, Spring, with 1 blue eye. Cairo's line, genetically, Arabs don't carry it. Doesn't matter, go straight. Yeah. When you guys are hacking around the property after lesson, you can come all through any of these areas. This is all our place. Oh, Cairo, really? If you're going to spook at construction stuff, we're going to have words. Howdy, howdy. And also, nice thing, we have al natural barriers here, so if you guys are ever messing around, once the horses pick up their feet, we lift. There are trees. And I don't know what they're doing here, and I hope they're not going to cut down our trees. Pink flags are no bueno, they're never good. Oh, we got the pipe route. Sweet. So, the pig died not too long ago, guys. I know, did you guys know we had a pig here?
No.
We had a really, really old potbelly pig here. It was her, and there was one other. There was her mother here. The mom died quite a few years ago. Then there was the baby left. The baby had, I mean, it was not a baby anymore. It was old pig. Well, she had cancer. She passed away. And now there's actually 2 horses going back that belong to boarders that were here a while ago that are dying of cancer. They're bringing them here to watch. So that's why you'll see other horses popping in and pipe crawls coming up. Howdy, howdy. Oh.
You made it.
Yeah.
Good to see you too. How about Vinny? You go get Peaches. That's right. Ah, we got yourself a helmet. Good deal.
Yeah, we had 2 weeks, so
Well, you gave us. You good to go get her? Go right up here.
Right.
I'm out.
I brought your car back.
Why?
'Cause I got mine washed. I didn't want to drive in the dirt.
Thank you.
I'd have you do it. I was worried about the camera making it, but it made it. So close up of his face.
Sure.
Uh-oh, don't knock.
No,
Don't knock her helmet off. So was it a good ride?
Oh, this is fun.
I can't wait to see it.
Did you see us cantering up that hill?
Yeah, I wondered if that was you.
Yeah, and then Fanny decided to take a detour.
Oh, no, wait for me.
I know, I was
Stumbles
like,
after.
I was like, oh god.
All the horses down the things like
I know.
It's always funny when they sandbag you like that because they're like, we're going.
It's a perfect night, perfect day for a ride.
Oh,
It's just so nice.
Out there. You know, we just couldn't help it. Too nice not to go. So we will rinse them, girls, because they are going to be a little sweaty. Rinse their legs, you know, rinse where their saddle was, and butt cheeks. If the pads are really sweaty, guys, flip them over and leave them out in the light for a little while. Especially because that is for sure takes the dust from the snow.
And sweaty Angela. Yeah, a close up of his eye.
It's a girl.
Yeah. What'd she say about sweat?
Get off sweat marks. She doesn't have.
You can get rid of the sweat marks?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's all the dirt.
It's not squirting very hard.
Oh no, I didn't turn on. Really.
This camera will go for 3 hours before the battery dies, which is pretty good. So tell me where you guys rode. What?
On trail.
Yeah?
I don't know where.
Was it warm?
Yes.
It was a very wide angle, so you're going to look kind of interesting.